podcast. We are so happy you guys are joining us here today. And we have something special in store for you guys today.
As you can see, we have an spooky season episode.
Yes. And what better thing to talk about for spooky season than ghosting?
Well, Diane, have you ever experienced ghosting before?
I don't really think I have, to be honest.
Have you ever ghosted someone?
I also don't think I have. I was thinking about this too, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I've ghosted exes in the past because I stopped talking to them. I kind of just like blocked them out of my life. But I don't think that was ghosting because there was a clear conversation of what was coming beforehand, which I think is a difference with ghosting. So no, I don't really think I've ghosted personally, and I don't think I've been ghosted either. But I've obviously heard a lot of stories about ghosting, and I've had similar experiences where I've been like rejected.
Okay.
I guess, and we're gonna get into rejection too, but not necessarily ghosting. But what about you? Have you had any ghosting experiences?
So many.
So many, okay.
I realized that I ghosted people, but not in a bad way. I just wasn't interested in them, you know?
Okay.
So I don't know, just stopped replying to texts or something like that.
Okay.
But then karma got me 10 years later.
Okay.
And then I experienced my first ghosting situation for the first time ever, and I didn't knew that was a thing at all.
What do you think is like the worst part about ghosting?
Okay, yeah, the worst part about ghosting is that the lack of communication. Like, you don't know anything about the other side, and it's just torture, I guess. It's just
really
weird. It's just so weird. You start questioning everything about yourself.
All right, now I actually want to get into the nitty gritty. I'm trying to ask you, what exactly was your experience when it came to ghosting? Because I know you have ghosted in the past and they've ghosted you in the past. But tell us a little bit of details, if you will, when it comes to your ghosting experience.
Okay, so first of all, back then, I wasn't even experienced like that into dating people.
Okay.
So it was really, I don't know. I used to take it like, if I'm going out with you, it's because we're going somewhere, you know?
Okay.
So,
like the relationship is going somewhere?
I don't know. We're getting to know each other, you know?
Okay.
But
There's
yeah.
like that prior
I'm like
interest.
really deep, you know? So, of course, I thought that it was gonna go somewhere serious, but no. And I'm not that kind of person that goes out with someone if I don't like, I'm not into them for at least some time, you know? Or prior the whole day thing. I was into this person. But then I accepted going out with this person. And we went out for like 5 dates or something. But then I know why he ghosted me, because he was like lack of communication. I was very shy by that time because I was like still trying to dominate the language, you know? So I'm pretty sure that's why, like, that's a fact. That's why we couldn't like communicate very well.
Right.
And that's why it just didn't work out, you know? But this person decided to ghost me.
Instead of having a conversation
Instead of just telling me, I don't want nothing with you, bye. You know, we can cut it off here.
Right.
But yeah, that happened. And yeah, it traumatized me somehow.
Okay.
But it was weird. I don't know. It was just my first experience. And I was like, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting it at all. Y ya luego después, como que tuve más experiencias, obviamente, con otros niños. Pero ya era como que... Bueno, no, obviamente sí me dolió, fue como raro, pero yo sabía que existía ese ghosting y que era una posibilidad, ya sabes, o sea, sabía que podía pasar en cualquier momento, o que las personas hacen eso, porque yo siento que nunca se lo he hecho a alguien, como que estar hablando con alguien más o menos, y de la nada, bye, es raro, ¿no? Pero, ¿qué más? Ajá, o sea, como te dije, he ghosteado personas antes, pero no así, como no de estar saliendo, ¿no? Simplemente es como...
Okay. Like just texting.
Como amistades, como X. Y sí, o sea, sí he cortado amistades así como raramente. Sí me ha pasado muchas veces. Pero, no sé, o sea, siento que sí fue mi karma, puede ser, probablemente.
Sí, y sometimes we learn from our
todo pasa,
mistakes,
o sea, todo tiene karma. Todo, bueno o malo, todo tiene karma. Y lo que haces o lo que se hace regresa de alguna otra manera, ya sabes. Pero te estaba diciendo también que por eso siento que igual debemos estar como en un buen estado mental. Y saber que somos nosotros, ya sabes, literalmente... querernos más que cualquier cosa, tipo así, se podría decir. Y para ese entonces yo no me acertaba tanto, o sea, yo no estaba así cero en conocerme a mí misma, o sea, yo ni sabía qué era lo que quería ni quién era, ya sabes. Estaba como en ese proceso de reinventarme apenas. Creo que apenas estaba como de... Y sí, también eso. Eso me ayudó para muchas cosas. O sea, fue otra lección que necesitaba para seguir como... Empezar mi camino, conocerme, se podría decir.
Okay. I like how you said that after having this experience, it's been helping you, and that you think that your lack of worth or like you knowing yourself and knowing your stuff or value, I guess, in a way, is why you end up with people who aren't for you. And that's really what I want to get into with the whole dating potential and dating reality is because it's all about the prerequisites. It's all about the steps that you're taking beforehand and the mentality that you have beforehand. So we could potentially even avoid being in these kinds of situations of ghosting and lack of communication and stuff of that sort with people in romantic relationships, more so because that's really who you're choosing to be with. Sometimes I feel like we don't choose our family members, so like that's not the route that we're taking this episode in. We're taking it more so in romantic relationships and people that you're literally choosing to have in your life, and you're
people that you were interested in. No,
and even like
somehow.
Friends, you could even connect it a little bit to friendships. It's just like you said, people that you're choosing, you're deciding that this person's going to be in your life. So yeah, I mean, I want to talk about the steps beforehand that we have to take to make sure that we don't end up in those positions, because I feel like a lot of times it is out, not to blame you guys, but it's like steps and choices that we made that got us to the point that we are at, you know, right? Because you accepted certain things beforehand from this person when you really shouldn't have, and then now you're like, oh crap, like
I feel like I was somebody that as soon as I got a little bit of attention, I was there, you know what I'm saying? And now it's not that at all, you know.
Okay,
like
so then let's dig into that. What is it when you're saying that
it's just my personality, that's how
it's your personality, but at the same time you're different now, right? So you fixed something and you made a switch in your life, but what was that switch when it comes to now you do value yourself and now you see
accepting me and loving me?
Okay, and how, like, what exactly did you do to get to that point? I know we've talked a little bit about it in the other episodes.
Yeah, what did I do? I feel like I just started to get to know myself, to put more attention to myself, like me, myself, you know? Not trying to get attention from anybody else but me.
Okay.
You know?
And why do you feel like getting attention from yourself is so important?
Because you get to know yourself. I don't know. What do you think?
The reason why I think that it's important for you to realize it yourself is because, like I've said before, I feel like you set the framework and the foundation, the standard for how people are going to treat you. You have control over your own choices. So because you have control over your own choices, you have to know how to defend yourself, and you need to know what you're defending. And you can't really defend yourself and advocate for yourself and set standards and boundaries that are going to be respected unless you first know about yourself and you know the value and the worth of what you're defending. How are you going to defend something that you don't even know? That's why a lot of people don't defend themselves, because they don't even know themselves and they haven't even tapped into their worth and how special they are, because they're not spending time with themselves, right? So I think that's why it's so important for you.
And I think it's hard. It's even hard, like we said on the first episode. I think it's hard to accept yourself and love you. It is hard. You gotta work. It's like a relationship that you gotta build.
I think
for real.
When we talk about it being hard, I feel like we have to dig deep into why. We have to dig deep into everything. I keep on saying that, but we have to dig deep into why it's hard to accept yourself sometimes. And I think the main thing is because we think we should be something that we really shouldn't, or we have unrealistic expectations for ourselves. We think that we shouldn't make mistakes. We think that we shouldn't have bad days.
No, we
really think that we should always have money. We think that we should always be happy. We think that we should always feel amazing and be in love. Like, that's unrealistic. So if you think that's how your life should be all the time, and that's only when you enjoy life is when everything's at an all-time high and perfect, well, good luck. Good freaking luck with life, because that's not gonna happen. That's literally not gonna happen. So we have to set our expectations straight. We have to know what this world is about. And I always make an emphasis on the fact that this world is not perfect and it's gonna suck sometimes. That's just the reality. But you can make so much out of even the negative moments in your life. And I'm telling you guys from personal experience, like, I try to dig deep into my negative situations and even the worst of situations that happen to me and the things that happen to me and that people do to me and say to me. I sit down and I try to dig deep into it. I'm like, what can I take out of this? I have always taken something out.
What's the lesson that you gotta learn from it?
Yes. And if you come into a situation like that, trust me, it works out for you. You find something and you grow as a person. And then you're not hard on yourself anymore, and you're not expecting something that's unrealistic and false. So when you stop expecting something that's unrealistic and false and you start expecting the norm, which is life not being perfect and all of these like ups and downs and stuff, but still seeing the beauty in that, then you literally are at peace with everything. You could breathe a lot more easily, and you could also start setting standards for yourself, and you could also start loving yourself, because you know that you're not defined by your mistakes. You're simply a beautiful human being because you're trying every day. Not because you're succeeding every day and you're doing everything perfectly. No, you're simply trying, and that's freaking amazing. But you have to find that out first.
I feel like there's so many people that have gone through ghosting, huh?
Yeah, I think there is. I hear it all the time. It's
and
a very
it's bad because
term.
it could really make you depressed. Like it's bad. It's just weird. And I feel like for the people that it's so used to ghost other people, I'm telling you right now, you gotta communicate better. Like, don't do that to nobody, because the day you get to experience this situation, you're gonna see what's up. Siento que sí, o sea, cuando experimentas ghosting, te deprimo. O sea, siento que yo estuve deprimida mucho tiempo, así, demasiado. Pero también porque lo mío fue como, no sé, eran como mis primeras experiencias con personas, como saliendo con personas y así. Y como que me pasó muy seguido, ya sabes, de que fallo tras fallo, tras fallo, tras fallo. Entonces, ahí es cuando tienes que ver y decir como, ¿qué está pasando eso? O sea, algo está mal maybe conmigo, de que yo me estoy tirando nada más a lo que caiga, ya sabes, y no es así.
Damn.
Literalmente no es así, o sea, tienes que como, pues sí, como dices, conocerte a ti mismo y saber lo que estás buscando, y ya luego todo se te va a alinear, ¿ya sabes? Es muy raro.
Yeah. Because do you feel like there were signs at the beginning of these situations?
Yeah, but I ignore all of them.
But what are the signs? If somebody's like, if you could give somebody advice of like, hey, I ignored this and then this person ghosted me, what was it?
I feel like since the first time that somebody mistreats you, since the very first time, that's it. You
Beautiful.
live right there. It's never gonna change. It's always gonna be the same, or it's always gonna come more and more and more stuff, you know? You're always gonna experience that again. No sé, también me pongo a pensar, ¿no? Creo que tú me habías dicho eso también muchas veces, que es como cuando una persona te ignora, es simplemente una señal de que no le importas. O sea, a la primera vez que ya te ignoró, aunque sea algo súper leve, ya fue, o sea, no puedes como dejar pasar eso, o sea, si a una persona le importas, te lo va a demostrar 100%. Es que, desde la primera vez.
Así, you know how I discovered that? Porque yo when I'm into somebody, I'm just like all over you. I want to talk to you all freaking day. I do. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm like, oh my gosh, they texted me. Like, you know, that's my type of energy when I'm with somebody that I like. And that's most of people's energies too. Like you're excited about that person because you like them, you're interested in them. You're so adamant about responding on time and just like having that communication. So when somebody's not responding to you, when they're like it's just so obvious. I don't even think there's a clear sign that that person is not interested. And sometimes we're like trying to make excuses for it. Just pretty much if people aren't replying and they're not showing that they're interested, most likely they're not interested.
If they're not showing it, they're not.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's...
Yeah, that's it.
Another way.
And, okay, it's so funny because I even had like I said, life, it's made of lessons, right? And every person that comes in your life, I think it's a lesson. And I had lesson after lesson, and I knew what this person was going to show me. Like, every single person I had experience with, I knew what they're going to show me. Like, they were showing me to love myself more. And I was like, okay, it was like a test, I feel like. Okay. I was like, okay, this person is showing me that I have to walk away right now if I love myself, to really show myself that I love me, you know?
Okay.
Stuff like that. And yes. I knew it, but I didn't ignore it. I just, I just sleep it.
I just think that's so dope, though. Because, like, I do see that. And I've seen you through these situations with these last guys. And...
Yo, I'm bi.
And I know those experiences where I'm like, I could literally see every single one that you've had. You've came out so much stronger and with so much more knowledge and with so much more like power to defend yourself. Like now you're not playing, bro. Like you're not, but you learn from those experiences, and I like that situation that you went through. It
was necessary or something. I don't even know.
But like what you're talking about right now, I know that story of like you just like walking out and being like, what the heck am I doing, you know? Which you didn't have before. But every time you go through a negative experience, I feel like it convinces you a little bit more and more and more and more why that's negative, and then you get to the point where you're like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And then you get out and you live the best life ever after you do leave. So hopefully we can all get to that point. Honestly, I feel like learning more about these kinds of things helps out so much. But also, before we go on to like dating potential in reality, I want to talk about one more aspect of ghosting, and that is, what is a better approach instead of ghosting? How should we navigate when we feel like we're not connecting with someone, or we can't talk to them anymore, or let's say you made a new connection?
I would say just be honest, you know. That's the best thing ever. Just being straight up honest. I know the truth sometimes hurt, but I feel like at the end of the day it's just the best way possible to.
Yeah, because the truth hurts, but then it's also gonna hurt
even
a
you
lot
don't
more
get
if you ghost
karma
someone.
about it, you know.
Okay, that too.
Because you were honest, like you said the things in a good way with good intentions, you could say, because you didn't want it to hurt the person. But then if you're making them think that you want them and then you just ghost them, that's weird. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I think more than anything, the reason why I don't ghost people, or I haven't in the past, is because I care about people. Like I really do care about people and their feelings. And even though there have been relationships where I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go forward with this, or like friendships even, I've had to take that very hard step, because it is hard to communicate. I'll give you that. But I've had to take that hard step of communicating with the person and letting them know where I'm coming from, because above everything, I still love them. Like I still want the best for them, even though I probably don't want them close to me because they're affecting me in a negative way. I love human beings in general, and I would never want to cause any kind of harm onto another human being. So I know if you don't give somebody an explanation and you feel crazy, I've been in that position before where people have just made me feel crazy because they don't explain anything. And that's like, I guess ghosting in a way, I've experienced it in a relationship, which is, that's why I didn't say I did, but now that I think about it, I did in my toxic relationship where my own boyfriend would ghost me. And then he would just appear a couple of days later and be like, hey, what's up, you know? And I'm like, I was traumatized these last couple of days, crying my eyes out, not knowing what the like heck happened to you, or what was going on, or if we're together or not. And then they just come back, right? So I guess I do know that feeling of like...
Now that I remember, I ghosted someone this year.
You did? Who did you ghost? Wait a minute, because I don't know about this guy.
Sí, sabes. Yeah, I just realized. That's why I got like triple karma. No, but okay, I ghosted this person because I feel like I was settling.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck no. You know, I saw that I had more potential coming at, you know, I had more better treatment or whatever.
Yeah, but that person wasn't treating you good either, girl. So that ghosting was
but
well-deserved.
by the time it was, you know, kind of.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I was like, let's go this way.
Okay, I understand that situation a lot better now that I remember who it was. But back to what I was saying about being in a relationship and feeling like I was getting ghosted in that relationship. I also know how it feels like to feel like you're going crazy because you don't have an explanation to something. And not only in that situation, but any situation where you feel like you're out of the loop and you're just like, what is going on? I would never want to make somebody else feel that way. And again, that's why I personally don't ghost people. And this is me just trying to encourage you guys, if you are thinking about ghosting someone yourself, really do consider the fact that
I know it's the easiest way
to
get over someone, but
and even then I would argue against it being you said it was the easiest way. Well, maybe it is the easiest way, but it's just not the most effective way and the smartest way to go about it, because not only are you going to hurt somebody else, but you are also robbing yourself of an opportunity to grow as a person and use your communication skills, which is a skill that we need in life all the time. So it's hard and you want the easier route. I think that's why people ghost, is because they they want it easy. They don't want to have that hard conversation. They don't want to be straight up, or maybe they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But again, you're doing a lot more harm when you're not communicating. Trust me. It's better if you just have that hard communication. You're giving somebody else an opportunity to grow as a person as well. You're showing somebody else something beautiful, which is communication. So communication is always going to be the top answer in these kinds of situations.
We gotta explain our customs right
okay
now.
yes So we actually didn't know if we were gonna do a Halloween episode or
we
not.
just come up with these customs right now in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, literally like right before the video. And apparently we did an amazing job because I mean, come on. But yes, I'm obviously poop.
Y yo soy una diabla dentro de una mujer.
Cute bebecita. Is that what it's called? Cute bebecita.
No, se llama Bebé la canción.
Oh, Cute Bebé by 6ix9ine. And
porque Q es como
like play, like cute.
Oh.
So Sammy, I want to ask you a question. Let's first understand what dating potential means. Like when you're dating somebody for potential, what do you think that means? Instead of like for the reality of who they are.
Okay. Dating potential, I see that it's what you see, the potential that you see in a person, like the things you think they can be, or all. Yeah, I feel like it's just all those good things that you see in this person.
Okay. And I think there's a difference between what you see in someone and what they see in themselves, because if they don't see it in themselves, then they don't reach their full potential. So dating potential is dating somebody who you see a lot in, and you can see how far they could get if they work through their trauma, and if they stop doing this and they stop doing that.
If you fix them.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. Or sometimes dating potential can mean that you have this...
When you think you can fix someone, but you cannot.
Yes, but it could also mean if you have this idea of a person and you're dating this person because of this fantasy.
This idea that you created, you know what I'm saying?
In your head, which I have done so many times. Too many times. So yeah, that's what dating potential is. I'll tell you guys like personal experience. Tell us personal experience as well, because I feel like we could connect a little bit more on that and we could understand each other better. But for example, I have, when I say I've dated guys for potential before, in the past, it has really been like I meet someone and we're attracted to each other, physical attraction obviously, and then from there it's like a couple of things that I like from them, and then like, and my experience has been like at the beginning guys are super nice and like very kind and very adamant about like, oh, look how much I like you and how into you I am, right? And so I've always taken that for what it is in the moment, like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful, like, and I've always thought that's how it's gonna be for the rest of time, and it only really lasts like what 4 weeks until this, and then you can think that could come
back again, you know. You also think that that's gonna come back, but no.
Yeah, it never does when you're dating potential, because you're dating potential, you're not dating reality. But yeah, it's been those experiences where I'm like, okay, you know, like this is all beautiful at the beginning, but then when those little things start to switch, I'm still stuck on how good things were, instead of realizing like, hey, there's a switch going on and this is not okay, and I need to stop this, or I need to do something about it, or communicate that something needs to be done as well. But no, I just kind of let the things go, and then I feel like I also it also comes from the fact that you sometimes can be desperate for somebody, or desperate to be loved, so you're just willing to put up with like the first person that comes and loves you, or that, you know,
that shows you affection, like I said, attention. Yes,
because you're in need of that, and there's nothing bad with you being in need of attention or love. We all want it, but at the same time, it's actually going to do you a lot more harm if you are accepting it.
Is it healthy attention?
Yes. It's going to do a lot more harm to you if you're accepting it from someone who is not for you and who is unhealthy and who is going to come in and be toxic, or be somebody who doesn't have your best interests at heart.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes we get hung up, like you said, on things like physical interaction, I will say. You know, if at first we're good, like if, well, to me happened that I don't want to expose myself, but it is what it is.
Do it.
But yeah, I got so way too attached of the way that somebody kisses me. Like, I never experienced like a really good kiss like that before. I was like, of course I experienced lots of kisses, but I don't know, I feel like that was a really good one. I felt really connected.
Wait.
In the moment.
Okay, so you're saying that you stayed with this person
Yeah. It was just physical connection, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
Which again, there's nothing bad with that. If you have experienced
but
that,
it's just not
it's
it.
normal.
There's so much more things about being with someone.
I think there's different parts that make a person, right? There's the physical, there's the emotional, there's the mental, there's so many different aspects.
I feel like when I meet a fun person, she got me there.
Yeah.
Like, I get stuck.
They literally hook you. Like she is really attracted to like guys' personalities.
Stupid guys. I'm just kidding. Okay.
But yeah, I've seen her date guys solely based on the fact that they have like a really outgoing personality. And I think that's something you like, and that's good. You do like outgoing personalities, but the thing is, we have to think about so many other things. Yes, the personality, but then how do they treat me? You know, how do they treat other people? What are their beliefs? Like, is everything in alignment? Like, are they showing me green flags or beige flags, as people are saying now? But like beige flags, I guess, are a thing. I think I don't even know what beige flags are, but I think they're a positive thing, hopefully, because then this example wouldn't really work out. But yeah, I mean, I think we have to think about all aspects of somebody and take everything into consideration. And you also have to weigh different things out, because for me, for example, if I find somebody who's very attractive and their personality sucks hard, honestly, I'm not gonna be with you.
Sometimes you get attached to by the looks. Like, you're way too attached by no you're way too attracted to somebody by the way it looks, and that just doesn't work. Because
I mean, I think the ideal thing is to find somebody who you are attracted to
both.
like that, and that has all the other aspects as well. But if I had to choose between somebody who has all the aspects and then they're not that attractive, honestly, I don't care.
Siento que a veces nos enamoramos de eso, ¿no? El potencial. Y nos enamoramos de ese potencial que ¿quién lo creó? Nosotros mismos, como estamos diciendo. Y tú ves todas estas cosas buenas y tú ves a esta persona de la que estás clavado y ves todas estas cosas positivas sobre esta persona y te enfocas demasiado en las cosas positivas, pero que no son positivas al final. Son cosas positivas que tú consideras que son positivas, ¿sabes? Pero que esta persona realmente no tiene nada para ofrecerte o no te está ofreciendo nada realmente. Solo es esos aspectos, como yo te dije, como por ejemplo, que me gustaba cómo nos besábamos o que me gustaba, no sé, es raro que me guste a mí como el físico de alguien, a veces es raro. Y cuando me gusta el físico de alguien es como que, ok, veo algo bien en esa persona, ¿no? O, no sé, cuando ves ¿cómo se dice? La creatividad que tiene la persona y todo eso. Como que tú te quedas ahí. No, ¿qué quiero decir?
Es lo que te atrae a ti, you know? Like, you're attracted to somebody who's creative and who is artistic and has talents. That's what you're into. So then when you see somebody who has that, you're like, oh, wow. Or even like a little bit of it.
Sí.
Yeah. You hype it up a lot in your head.
Demasiado.
Yeah.
No, nada que ver.
Yeah.
Literalmente no.
And honestly, again, you can find somebody who's artsy and who has all of those aspects, but also knows how to treat you good. You know, that's the difference, is that you have to focus on those vital parts in someone and not just on this idea that you've created about this person. You have to literally ask yourself in the moment, right here, right now, do I like how this person is treating me? Do I like how they act?
Como estabas diciendo, también, siento que nos enfocamos mucho en el principio de la relación, ¿no? El principio de, no la relación, pero la interacción que tienes con esa persona primero, que es como muy buena. O sea, obviamente las primeras semanas y el primer mes, los primeros meses son increíbles, ya sabes, está muy cool. Pero eso se desaparece así, de un día a otro, eso va al carajo. Entonces ahí es cuando debes como soltar, ¿no? O sea, lo que ya fue. O sea, si fueron buenos momentos, sí, los disfrutaste y todo, pero ya fue, nunca van a regresar. O sea, no es como que no vas a estar como sobretrabajando la relación o poniendo tú más de tu parte para que vuelva a funcionar, pero no, nunca va a volver a funcionar, ¿me entiendes? Es muy raro. Y es eso, siento que ese es el potencial que nosotros vemos en alguien, pero no está ahí, simplemente no está ahí. ¿Por qué? Porque no te están tratando como mereces.
Yeah. You have to also set standards beforehand, because otherwise you're not even going to know what to look for. Like, you're not even going to know that something is a red flag. I know so many people that literally, they just don't know that the way that they're getting treated is incorrect. You know, like I've had to point it out to girlfriends of like, hey, him talking to you like this is not okay, or you know the fact that they didn't consider this is not okay, and they're
well,
like,
because
no, I
they're
had
so
no
blind
idea.
by the, I don't know, I will say that by the sexual interaction,
I think that's
by
so big,
the-
and we have to talk about
by
that.
the love that they gave them,
The
but not really.
affection, the lust, even the sex, like that's something that does bind two people together. And I think sex is so intentional and it's so beautiful and it has such a great purpose, honestly.
Yeah,
to
we also
connect
want
to
to talk.
individuals.
I also want to talk about like how sex, how sex can destroy you. I see, no,
Okay.
emotionally, you know, like you connect with someone on a deeper level, and then that person is gone. Uy, todo traumada. Ok, pero yo quiero tocar ese tema en otro episodio porque queremos hablar como eso, ¿no? O sea, no sé, del poder que tenemos nosotras como mujeres de poderle, ¿cómo se diría? Elevar la vida de una persona a niveles increíbles. Entonces es como que un poder que tienes que literalmente guardarte para ti misma hasta que conozcas a una persona que literalmente te merezca. Porque si no, bye.
There's so much to say about sex. I think that should be the next episode. We're going to talk about it.
Podemos como confundir el potencial también con el sexo, o sea, no, ya sabes, o sea, decimos como, es malo en todo esto, pero el sexo,
boom.
ya sabes, y no, cero. Puedes encontrar sexo en muchos lados.
Yeah.
Sexo sin amor no es sexo. No.
Yeah. It's not the best. It's not the best
no
kind of.
Y yo, ¿cómo era? Sexo sin amor solo es sexo, literalmente, solo es sexo. No es nada. How do you deal with rejection?
I've never been rejected before.
No,
I'm kidding.
Yo,
You literally know I have. I've been rejected once, okay? And
just once?
I still remember.
I've been rejected so many times.
Yeah, it just really hurt that one time that I did because I really liked this person. We have to start crying. No, honestly, I really don't care now. But at that time I did, and I just really liked this person. And I'm gonna be honest, I tried to act like something I wasn't to try to get this person's attention and try to make them like kind of like me, because I thought that's what was going to make this person like me. Because yeah, I don't know. And I wasn't being myself.
Yeah, I've been
and
there before.
They didn't. Yeah, they saw that image that I made out to be. In order for them to like me, and they freaking hated it. They did. And I'm like, crap, like if I would have just been myself, then maybe, you know, something could have happened. But that person was not for me for sure, because like obviously at that time I think I had a crush on them because they were like very cute. But yeah, I feel like I was just kind of attracted to him, and I was very immature at that time, and I wasn't really taking into account, you know, just really important things that now I would, like personality wise in our futures and stuff like that. It was just somebody who I thought was cute, and I just kind of like I said, I showed something that wasn't me, and afterwards I tried to pursue them and switch it around and be myself, because I saw that not being myself didn't work out. And then it was already too late, because they were like, no, whatever you were or whatever you were showing me, like that kind of like freaked me out, and like I don't want that. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know. And that hurt me because I felt like I wasn't being real, I wasn't being me. But that's my experience with rejection, and honestly I struggled with it a couple of days afterwards, because I felt so guilty about not expressing myself properly and not showing the real me, because I know like my intentions are good, and I know if I would have shown the real me, like baby boy would have fallen in love. But no, it didn't happen, you know? And I think it didn't happen for a reason, because it didn't have to happen with that person. And the one who's deserving 100%. Of it, he's gonna get it.
¿Qué te iba a decir? Así me sentí también cuando... eso sentí. Siento que yo toda mi vida tuve como... Cualquier persona que me gustaba, lo tenía, ya sabes. O yo también le gustaba, lo sabía, ya sabes. Y sí, cuando... Pues no sé, todas esas veces que fui como rechazada, se podría decir, que no funcionó. Sí me sentí rara, o sea... Pero también es eso, ahí descubrí, como te dije, que no me conocía a mí misma, o no me daba ese valor que ahora me doy. Ya sabes, como que no amaba todas esas cosas de mí que ahora amo, por así decir. Y por eso como que me afectó. Pero una vez que como que te aceptas a ti mismo, pues ya no te afectan esas cosas, ¿no?
See, it's like you understand too, like you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. Like not everybody's gonna like you, not everybody's gonna think you're amazing, and that's just life. Like again, it's that fact of like, this is life, this is reality. So when it's reality, it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Like I feel like if I were to get rejected now, I'd just kind of be like, okay, like
sí. Como que ya sabes cómo
you're not for
manejarlo.
Me. Yeah, like it's very simple. And I know that I'm deserving of beautiful things. So beautiful things are going to come into my life regardless. So if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else and it's going to be amazing. So I don't care. Like I just don't care about it.
I feel like I struggle a lot too because of the language barrier, I will say.
Okay.
So it was really hard to me to be myself with people,
Yeah.
Because I don't feel myself right now, not even, speaking English, but I feel like it's getting better, I will say. Or
You're
whatever.
doing really good. I wouldn't be able to do this whole thing in Spanish.
Ni siquiera yo lo estoy haciendo en inglés.
But yeah, I can't even do it a little bit in Spanish, bro. So now that we've talked about dating potential, I want to talk about the opposite of that and how we get to that point. How can we leave this video knowing that, like, okay, we're good. We're going to walk towards what is actually for us.
Really simple. You're just going to be who you want to attract. I see, no?
Beautiful, beautiful.
If you want to attract somebody that is going to be for you and it's going to have all these beautiful things that you're looking into someone, you got to start working on yourself.
Yes.
You got to start changing those things because every single person that you attract or you let it be in your life is a reflection of you. Like, that's freaking true. Siento que sí me comparaba mucho con así lo más simple que me traten las personas, o sea. Y no hablo de cosas materiales porque no me gusta hablar de lo material porque para mí eso es como lo menos importante. Yeah. Pero, pues sí, o sea, yo siempre, o sea, siempre había tenido personas en mi vida que me trataban muy bien, ya sabes. Y no sé, después de todas estas experiencias negativas, como que se me había olvidado, ya sabes. No mi valor, pero se me había olvidado que todo lo que merezco solo por ser yo, o sea, solo por ser una niña. Y no sé, ya sabes, ese tipo de cosas. Entonces, fue que, como te dije, todas las personas que llegaron a mi vida me fueron enseñando algo. Entonces, unos me enseñaron cómo no debo ser tratada y cómo nunca más debo aceptar que alguien me trate. Y otros me enseñaron lo más básico, o sea, que lo más básico de cómo las personas me tienen que tratar así, como...
That is
¿sabes?
So good. That is so
No sé si lo estoy explicando bien.
No, you really are, because I feel the same way. I feel like there's certain guys that I've
como
been
cosas
with.
Que ya están, o sea, cosas que ya deben estar ahí, ¿me entiendes? Solo por ser yo, ¿me entiendes? Como cosas simples, cosas tontas, como que alguien te cocine, te den todo, te lleven todo, te traten como princesa, ya sabes, o sea, eso es algo que está ahí por ser el simple hecho de ser una niña, ¿me entiendes? Y quien no lo está haciendo es porque no quiere, o sea, como sácalo de tu vida en este momento. Entonces eso me pasó como que sí, solo eso fue como mis últimas experiencias, siento que eso fue como que me enseñaron que, como que me abrieron los ojos otra vez de que no, ¿sabes qué? Ese es lo mínimo que te mereces, ya sabes, y de aquí viene mucho más. Y fue como que, sí, digo como que eso aprendí de esas últimas experiencias y bye.
I think it's also so important, the fact that we're talking about, we're deserving as girls. I feel like it's important to mention that that's not to say that guys aren't deserving as well. I feel like guys are deserving of so many beautiful things. And I know I bring that to the table and I treat you so damn good. Sí. So that's why I can even say, you know what, this is what I expect back as well. But I think it's important for both parties to have that same mentality of how can I love this person in the best way possible and make them feel the most special way possible as well.
Como escribiste en tus notas, que cuando le empiezas a quitar como
the rose-colored glasses.
Eso, ¿qué es eso?
It's a term. It's not a term, but like a little saying in English that when you take the rose-colored glasses off, when you have the rose-colored glasses on, you're seeing life with these lenses.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
In a like, you know.
Pues sí, cuando empiezas a ver como el lado genuino de las personas, que te tienen que mostrar acciones, más que nada eso, ¿no?
It is.
Tienes que ver acciones.
It's consideration too. It's like, I think consideration is so huge because you can tell people like, hey, I need this from you, or like this is affecting me. The clear sign that they're doing the bare minimum or they're not doing enough is if you're telling them something that's hurting you
sí.
And they don't do anything about it.
Igual eso es una señal súper importante, que cuando tú empiezas a pedirle a alguien, o sea, está bien comunicarse, sí lo entiendo, tienes que comunicar, pero una vez que tú empiezas a pedir cómo tienes que ser tratado, ahí no es, ya sabes, o sea, y como dicen, hay una frase que dice como, cuando alguien me dice no, lo único que yo escucho es, pregúntale a alguien más, o busca que alguien más me lo dé, porque hay muchísimas personas que te van a dar esa atención o ese tipo de trato que estás buscando, ¿me entiendes? Hay muchísimas personas.
Yes, there's people that are active about loving people and passionate about it and doing it good.
Y yo, daddy energy.
Yes, daddy energy. We are here for it.
Disclaimer. Perdón por preguntar si creías en terapia. Estoy yendo a terapia. No, o sea, de verdad que sé que terapia es muy importante. Y güey, dije que no he estado en terapia hace 2 años. El año pasado estuve en terapia.
I know, I'm like, I heard that too, and I'm like, bro, I could have sworn
ya sé, no tengo idea. No tengo idea por qué dije eso, porque estoy mintiendo. Ay, sí, no. ¿Qué iba a decir?
But we love a
por
self-aware
favor, no.
queen.
Oh, te estaba contando, ok. Te estaba contando que vi este video, que hay personas que, no sé qué sea, o sea, no sé, maybe tú pienses qué es, tú dime qué es, pero no sé si es como ego o simplemente que la persona se quiere quedar en su mismo, no sé, en su mismo radar o lo que sea. Que hay personas que prefieren perderte y llorar, o sea, y es quedarse en ese papel de víctima, como de, oh, sí, la perdí, pero la sigo amando y siempre la voy a amar, o lo que sea, que de verdad hacer algo por ti, que de verdad hacer algo por cambiar y por mejorar la relación, o hacer algo por recuperarte, o hacer algo por mantener la relación, o lo que sea, ¿ya sabes? Y así pasa, o sea, a las personas les vale, o sea, sí viven su vida, perdieron al amor de su vida, lo que sea, pero así viven después de eso, como que nunca hicieron nada para recuperar a esa persona o para de verdad mantenerla, ¿y sabes? No entiendo.
And I feel like we all deserve somebody who actually like fights to be with us and who like tries to put effort in. And when they don't, it's either like, it's different situations. Sometimes it is the fact that they know how good you are and they have that very clear and they know how valuable you are. They're just not willing to put the work in to kind of amount to that as well, because obviously you're requiring this same kind of energy and this good that you're giving into the relationship. You're asking it from them, and if they're not willing, because it's a lot of hard work and that would make them like be uncomfortable and have to change, and that's hard. They don't want to do that as well to get to that point. Then it's just simply like, okay, well, I'd rather just lose this person because I'm not really trying to work for it, because it's going to be difficult. And then they're going to go find somebody who's on their same level, and they're going to be happy because they're not going to have to work for it. That's just one situation, but there's a lot of different situations. Sometimes I feel like maybe they don't feel like they're worth it. I've heard that myself, of like when I've ended relationships, it's gotten to the point where the person was like, I just don't feel like I'm good enough for you. And no matter how much I would tell them like, no, but it's okay, like I still want to be with you, like let's try to work it out or something, they're just like, but you require so much and I'm not there.
You're too good for me.
But and that I've heard it as a cop out, but honestly the situations that I'm talking about, like it was genuine. Like these people were literally like, I want to provide more for you, like if you could wait for me even, or like if you could wait for me to become a better person then, but like I feel like everything that you're asking of me now and all of your standards, I just don't amount to, and I can't do it. So it's just kind of like, yeah, and it is true. I'm like, I don't know. Just like the same point that you were saying before, there's somebody who's willing to do that for you. Like your person is out there, and there's somebody who what is a lot for one person is going to be the easiest yes for another person. And I'd rather it be the easiest yes for another person than have to force somebody to like treat me good or like do what I require of them. Like I don't want to force anyone to do that, and I think that's unfair for the other person. Like I want the best for them too. I want the best for the both of us. If I know that we're both not on that same level, then I feel like it's doing us both a disservice.
Okay, ¿qué más?
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. ¿Cómo era? No sé, no me sale. Me sale a veces. Y yo.
Before we close off, I want to do a little round of, I guess we could go back and forth just like quick. We're not going to dive deep into it because I want a different episode where we're just focusing solely on red flags. But I want to talk about what are those little signs very quickly of somebody who is not it's not showing you what you would want. It's like the potential aspect, because that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, how do we know that this person is probably just us dating potential instead of us dating something that's real and something that's good for us?
Well, first of all, when they don't have things that you're looking in somebody,
Okay, yes.
That's the first thing. Or when they have things that
you know, you don't even like.
Yeah, you never let, ¿cómo se dice?
You never accept it from other people. I've done that so many times where I'm like, I would never do this ever. I don't like this. I'm not in agreement with this. And then I meet someone who does it, and I'm like, oh, it's
eso
okay.
me pasó también. O sea, acepté muchas cosas de personas que sabía que jamás hubiera aceptado. ¿Qué más? When they're trying to control you, maybe. I never experienced that like that, but
okay, I have, and I think the whole thing with control, or the biggest thing with this whole, like, the signs of you just dating potential, is when somebody is literally disrupting your peace and they're not making you feel good. I think that's the biggest thing. 100%. And within that, there's so many little things.
Pero ajá, cuando se supone que estás en una relación, tiene que ser paz, ya sabes, o sea, no lo sé, tiene que ser mutuo, tiene que ser paz, y alguien te viene, ok, es eso, cuando dejas entrar a alguien a tu vida, te tiene que brindar calma o aportar más, si no lo quieres en tu vida.
Yeah, and sabes? What's the point? Or because there's people that drain you. My mom says it. Hay personas vitaminas y después hay personas. I don't know what the other word she uses for the other thing, but they pretty much like suck the life out of you. So there's people that are gonna pour into you, and people that suck the life out of. But it's a concept that's. I feel like you guys understand what I'm trying to say. But you have to be very adamant about.
Drenan. Yo.
Ya, drenan tu energía y todo lo que tienes adentro. Pero por eso es muy importante ver o considerar qué tipo de
¿Qué personas son?
Yeah, like what kind of, yeah, exactly. Porque si lo piensas también, cuando tenemos amigas, do you think you're gonna be like, oh, well, she talks crap about me. She doesn't make me feel good. Every time I'm with her, I feel like I'm drained. Like she just uses me.
Like I'm not myself.
Like I'm not myself. Do you think that's the kind of friend you want in your life? And somebody who you're actively going to like fight for and choose? Absolutely not, because they're not really making you feel good. They're bringing a whole bunch of disruption into your
even
life.
People that makes you question yourself or who you are.
Yes. You know, any kind of negative, icky feeling that somebody is giving you is not okay, right? And so we wouldn't accept that from friendships, right? Why would we accept it from our relationship, this person that we're going to be with for potentially the rest of our lives and who we're going to have kids with and just experience different things with, you know? It's just not fair. We shouldn't be doing that to ourselves. But yeah, I feel like we said what we had to say. I'm actually very intrigued to know what you guys want us to talk about for the next episode.
Please comment.
Comment down below any like topics that you guys would want us to dive into, or if they're a little bit more out there and you want to keep it anonymous, then you guys could always just send us a DM.
Deberíamos hacer algo así, ¿no? En Instagram.
We can. I mean, also just follow us on Instagram because we can do a little
poner como un
anonymous poll, like the Google Drive. I've done that before, and you don't even see who answers.
Okay.
You're literally just receiving answers. That would help a lot, guys, if you were
We're gonna
to
do that for sure.
And then we could go ahead and help you guys out with like literally what you guys need help with, or just like talk about our personal experiences, so you guys don't feel alone in the fact that you're struggling with something specific.
Well, thanks again for watching, and see you next week.